The sting very clearly is in the tail. कठोरतम जवाब दिया जाएगा. And when the Prime Minister of India, with a track record of surgical strikes after the Uri terror attack and Balakot airstrikes after the Pulwama terror attack, and that those Balakot airstrikes were unprecedented when you sent in your fighter jets, not just across the line of control, but to bomb across the international border, it marks a paradigm shift in India's response to terror. And clearly, this response will only be at another level. And that different level, will it be kinetic? Will it be non-kinetic? The Indus Waters Treaty being held in abeyance is something that hurts Pakistan. It hurts the very psyche of that state sponsor of radical Islamist terror, because the underlying message is water for Pakistan is not more important than the blood of innocent Indians. There are consequences for that state sponsor of radical Islamist terror. And those who spread that bogey that India cannot stop water, where will you store water? It is not that India will stop all the water immediately. It is that India will not share information with Pakistan no longer, because that Indus Waters Treaty has been held in abeyance. So now Pakistan will not know when it will be flooded, when it will be starved of water, when its power generation will be adversely impacted, when its taps will run dry. During the sowing season, will Pakistan have guaranteed supply of water, or will it be reduced to a trickle? So this is how a nuanced operation takes place, and the nation must understand. Nation on our side and that state Islamic sponsor of terrorists must also understand that they have to realize India has said enough is enough. Remember, the Indus Waters Treaty wasn't even brought into question when the 1971 India-Pakistan war happened and Pakistan was split into two, or during the 1965 war, or during the Kargil war, where India's response was limited not to launch our fighter jets across the LC. And that cost us a lot of lives on the Indian side, or zero response post 26/11 when 166 people were massacred. To this huge response, and this perhaps is just the beginning of that huge response. The Prime Minister has sent out a stern message, and that message rings loud and clear from multiple steps that are being taken. Of course, sending back the Pakistanis to their own country, stopping visas, reducing the number of diplomats are measures, and annulling. He's annulled the posts of defense attaches, air attache, naval attache. So that means there will be no Pakistani defense attache coming back to India, because anyways they are ISI operatives who come to India in whatever garb they do. Pakistani diplomats and top diplomats have been arrested in the past, and because they had diplomatic immunity, they had to be declared persona non grata and sent back. They were detained in the past before being sent back for being ISI agents and funding either separatists or directly terrorists. So now the Prime Minister has decided, why should we have terrorists in our country? Why should we have diplomats, terrorists masquerading as diplomats and soldiers, Pakistani soldiers in our country? It's a very clear, decisive message, because look at those horrifying images from Pulwama. Those horrifying messages are very clear. And I want to bring in my colleague Piyush Mishra for more on this big story. Piyush, the Prime Minister is very clear. There will be kathortam jawab for Pakistan for a state sponsor of radical Islamist terror post Pahalgam. Isn't that the underlying message?
Well, absolutely, Gaurav. Prime Minister has once again reiterated the country's resolve of fighting against terrorism. Four big messages coming out of Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. One is that the entire nation is standing united and fighting against this terrorism. Second is that this terror attack has happened at a time when normalcy was returning back to Jammu and Kashmir, and the Pakistan is trying to break the spirit of country, which will never happen, and we will give the strongest possible retaliation to the Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. Third message which Prime Minister is saying is that the entire world, the global community is standing in unison with India, and they are speaking in one voice against terrorism. And he has also requested everyone to be united, and that's what the Prime Minister is also saying. And he has also, fourth, made it very clear that he is once again assuring the entire nation that yes, the strongest possible, the karara jawab will be given to Prime Minister. So once again, to Pakistan. So once again, Prime Minister has sent out a clear message, strong worded message in bold and capital.
Absolutely. Very, very strong message. Piyush, stay with me. I want our viewers to just hear Prime Minister Narendra Modi over the years, because everything he says, it comes true. He actually acts on it. And perhaps in the past, there was the leadership of our country, and I'm not going politically on the story. I'm going... I want you to hear these messages, because remember, we've been targeted whether there was a BJP government in power or a Congress government in power, and I've covered this over decades of today saying we will cut off ties with Pakistan, we will have aar-par ki ladai, then to going to the other extreme, saying that yes, that Sharm el-Sheikh disaster where you agree to a Balochistan reference by Pakistan, all of that we've been through. But here the Prime Minister, what he said after Uri, after Pulwama, and now after Pahalgam. Listen to every word of what action will follow. It's followed in the past, but for a state sponsor of radical Islamist terror, it's like a drug addict. That is what Pakistan is. It's addicted to the drug of terror. So one dose does not help. You have to repeatedly administer the dose to Pakistan, the only way to make Pakistan understand. Listen in to the Prime Minister.
Today, from the soil of Bihar, I say to the whole world, India will identify, track, and punish every terrorist and their backers. We will pursue them to the ends of the earth. India's spirit will never be broken by terrorism. Terrorism will not go unpunished. Every effort will be made to ensure that justice is done. The entire nation is firm in this resolve. Everyone who believes in humanity is with us. मैं बहुत स्पष्ट शब्दों में कहना चाहता हूं, जिन्होंने ये हमला किया है, उन आतंकियों को और इस हमले की साजिश रचने वालों को उनकी कल्पना से भी बड़ी सजा मिलेगी। सजा मिलकर के रहेगी। 22 अप्रैल को जम्मू कश्मीर के पहलगाम में आतंकियों ने मासूम देशवासियों को जिस बेरहमी से मारा है, उससे पूरा देश व्यथित है। कोटि कोटि देशवासी दुखी हैं। सभी पीड़ित परिवारों के इस दुख में पूरा देश उनके साथ खड़ा है।